Okay, man, I got an interesting one for y'all today. I am a person who is still on Facebook and Instagram and some of the older social medias that the younger people might not rock with anymore. But I'm still in that age group. I saw this on Facebook, man. I still have a lot of friends and family who really don't get it and who are still quote unquote woke, and they are completely sold out and totally convinced that they have it right. And one of them shared this. It was by some group or page called American Voice of Reason. And I'm just going to read it. It says, "Speak up now, take action." All right, and it looks like they shared it from some person called Kasim Rashid. I don't know if I said that right or not. Y'all can read it like I can. Trump has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort, two independent black journalists who reported on a protest in Minneapolis for their crime of reporting on protests. Fascists don't want exposure for their crimes. As corporate media continues to capitulate to Trump, he's going after independent journalists who refuse to bend the knee. Speak up while you can because this will get worse very quickly. Man, it's so frustrating to see people just run with this. All right, but it gives us an opportunity to teach for a second. All right, so the first thing I want you guys to start doing is really asking yourself whether or not you have the initial kind of understanding correct or the initial assessment correct. And I want y'all to listen to me as I'm teaching this because by teaching this, I'm telling you that a lot of you get it wrong from the very beginning. All right, so let's kind of go through this line by line and I'm going to kind of give you my logic and you see if it makes sense to you. And please keep in mind that I have other people in my life who kind of understand things the way that I do, but talking to them only is just like preaching to the choir. So I'm not really preaching to them. They already get it. They're going to see it. I'm preaching to the people who may not see it and who may disagree with the person who doesn't just buy into everything that the left offers. All right, he says, Trump has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort, two independent black journalists who reported on a protest in Minneapolis. All right, stop right there. Is that really what happened? Were they just two independent black journalists who reported on a protest in Minneapolis? Right. Ask yourself that question, okay? We know that Don Lemon, even though I don't watch his show, I've been seeing a bunch of clips of it going around. He knew what he was getting into. He had connected with this group of people that were planning on going into this church. There's footage of the woman saying what they do, who they are, and what they do. So this was not just two independent black journalists who reported on a quote unquote protest, right? They knew what they were doing. Secondly, protest. That should actually be in quotation marks. Is this an actual protest or is this just a distraction? A little bit of anarchy. What is actually going on here? That is what I want to see. All right. Okay. Next line. For their crime of reporting on protest. Again, they were a part of it. They were not just reporting on it. Okay. Going into the next paragraph. Fascist. There's that word. Leftists don't really know what that means, but fascists don't want exposure for their crimes. Well, actually, that's what Don Lemon doesn't want. He's trying to cover up what he was doing through a guise of freedom of speech. He doesn't want to be exposed for actually knowing what he was getting into and plotting to go into this church and cause a ruckus. All right. As corporate media continues to capitulate to Trump, that's false because we still know that the media is still 90% left leaning. You have to remember that. Liberalism is the real religion in America and it has to be propagated through the media. He's going after independent journalists who refuse to bend the knee. Right? Another false narrative. That is a false understanding of what's going on. Nobody's asking you to bend the knee to Trump. We are telling you guys that your lies are no longer just going to be broadly and widely accepted with no pushback. People like me are out here. Other people see it and we're starting to call it out. And maybe more of them are doing like us. I'm trying to explain it to you as I go. So this gave us a perfect opportunity to take something, teach it line by line, and y'all see what y'all want. Speak up while you still can because this will get worse very quickly. This plays into the delusion, right, that comes from liberalism. If you sit around listening to this stuff day after day and you never get any pushback and you never learn about true analytical skills and truly being able to think critically, you hear stuff like this and you read stuff like this and it compounds onto your emotionalism that a lot of you guys have. And so, look, I just wanted to point this out, man. It's the perfect example because you can just be scrolling through social media and you just see stuff like this and the average mind and just gobbles it up. And to them, it's just like another nail in the coffin of the liberalism that they already believe. So it makes them hate Trump even more. It makes them hate conservatives and stuff even more. But they have the wrong view, right? And I'm here to tell you guys that if you're stuck on the liberal view, you got it wrong. All right, peace.